All right. Welcome back.
Welcome
How's it
back,
going?
everybody. It is going absolutely splendid, Liam. I've got my cup of coffee here, French press style. So yeah, good
Oh,
times.
very nice.
I know. How are you finding yourself this
I'm doing
Friday
good.
morning?
I got my favorite coffee mug here,
Amazing. The,
which
the, the
is
best way to drink your coffee is out of a mug that lets you know
yeah,
exactly what you're
exactly.
drinking.
That's everything I need at the end of the week to keep me alive. Um, well, today's gonna be a fun show. You're looking very clean and crisp today. You got a new camera, eh?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's a nice new webcam, so you guys can see all of my, my house and myself, all in much crisper detail.
I'm a
So I'll
little.
have to start brushing my hair a little bit now,
I'm
which is fun.
starting to feel jealous. I gotta up my game on my end.
There's always time, Liam.
Yeah,
There's always time.
we aren't sponsored by Logitech, but if they want to sponsor us, they always can.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is it's a Logitech, right?
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll drop that subtly. Not so subtly. So crispy, says
Very
Jenna.
true.
All right, well, this is going to be a fun show today. We're going to be joined by the Hypha DAO team. They're doing a lot of cool work in this space. I mean, they've been involved in Telos pretty much since launch, and they've been working in the blockchain sector even longer than that. They were heavily involved in the launch of the Seeds protocol, which is very active on Telos and has a great community around it. And more recently, right, they've been doing a really big push around their Hypha DAO tooling, which is I mean, they call it almost the QuickBook of DAOs. It's this really great tool set to allow people to form DAOs, set up roles, track finances, and manage all just the different ins and outs that come with coordinating properly, which is huge in the space right now as we start to see this rise in DAOs. So yeah, I'm super excited. DAOs, and I guess I should say DOs, DHOs, decentralized human organizations as well. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. It's going to be a great time to have them on and to learn about what they do and why what they do is so important. So let's jump into the news so we can get them all on. But
Yeah.
first, before we start, remember, let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments. It's always great to see where everyone is watching from, helping us, get to know where everyone is, building up our global audience. So yeah, we've got some people here. We've got Wayne Shepherd watching. Nice to see you, Wayne.
Where are you at, Thomas?
I'm coming to you guys from Toronto, Canada. And Liam, what about you?
Quebec, Canada, of course. Yeah, it's a great, lovely day here, so it's lots of fun. We've got Jenna also from Canada. There's a lot of Canadians around Telos these days, which is super fun.
Oh, most definitely it is.
Well, yeah, I'm super pumped for today, guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that way you get notified whenever we go live. And of course, the best way to support us is by voting for us as a block producer on the Telos mainnet. If you like what you see, that's the best way to make sure we keep doing what we're doing.
Heck yeah, it is.
We passed a milestone this week also. We hit 17 million votes. 17 million votes. Yeah, so really excited to see all that support from the community and grateful for it. We should jump in though, because I want to bring in Hypha and I got lots of questions to ask them.
Heck yeah, let's get started. Okay, so up first, we're going to be going through some Telos Foundation updates. There's a couple things that happened starting Monday until now. So pretty much whatever the Telos Foundation is cooking up with their big announcement, we got a little bit more information on that. We know it's going to be coming on Monday. So I'm still, the questions are still bouncing around as to actually what it is. We will find out, I'm sure enough, on Monday. If you guys have any thoughts on what it is, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, they're really teasing it out. And I think it's pretty fun. It's exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. And yeah, like you say, let us know in the comments. It'll be cool to hear what people think it is.
Yeah, it's been fun, but the only problem is until then, from then until now, every piece of news that has come out, everyone in the Telegram chat has been like, is this the big news? Is this the big news?
Is this it? No, you'll know.
So far, it's not been. But there has been some pretty cool stuff that's happened from the Telos Foundation. Since the 30th, when the announcement came out, Telos was listed on the Hotbit exchange, which is always great to see Telos listed someplace new. As well, the German blockchain project Nuco.cloud, they've announced that they're migrating to Telos. Their platform's pretty cool. It lets you monetize the unused computing power of your smartphone, computer, or server. Those are the bigger things that have come out of the Telos Nation this week. But yeah, stay tuned until Monday when you'll find out what the big announcement is all about.
Oh, wait a second. Thomas actually knows by accident. I guess you can't share, eh, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm guessing he can't.
No, keep it a
Other
secret.
Thomas, there's so many
Oh yeah,
Thomases in the
other
Telos
Thomas.
ecosystem as well.
We just had Gooey join in. Great to have you here, Gooey. Always a pleasure seeing you. Let's keep going. We got some
Yeah.
fun news around Apix. Apix partners with NFT ranking platform Minty. Minty displays popular NFT projects from all over the world with a rating enabling collectors to discover trending projects and their popularity based on the community's rankings. With Apix NFT integrations, you can display your NFTs on your profile and start conversations with the awesome and engaged Apix community. They also recently partnered with Jetlegs to offer flights, tickets for Apix tokens, and they've been rocking the partnerships lately. They really have, actually. You know, I have to watch what I say in this area because I just got off a phone call with the COO, Uma. So she told me about a bunch of partnerships that are going on right now. Some that I think are announced, some that aren't. But they're just doing so much stuff right now. It's really exciting to see that. And I think this piece is really cool because it does kind of mirror what we're seeing on the Twitter space right now of people being able to display their NFTs on their profile, brings more utility to the NFTs. So it's great to see that that's happening on Telos and in a decentralized social media platform as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Liam, how's your Apix account doing, by the way? Have you been?
I've made one post, so I got to get on there and
Nice.
post a little bit more. Admittedly, yeah, I'll shame myself for that. But you guys can go follow me on Apix, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more on top of my posting there and get busier there because it's fun. I tend to just be a bit of a lurker and scroll through and follow people and stuff like that.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, but you're in such a beautiful place in Quebec City, so you gotta broadcast it out there.
True. Lots of scenic shots coming soon. Oh, Gooey's got a question here. When Telos Culture NFT? Maybe sooner than you think. There might be something along those lines, even potentially next week, Friday. I got word of. Not quite what you think it is, but something along those lines. So stay posted.
Okay, Liam, you're getting me excited for this now, too. On the topic of NFTs, we're going to do a quick little roundup of some cool projects that are upcoming or they've been released on Telos. There's a couple that we've got to go through. So there's Croco Island. They've announced their launch date of May 14. They're a new project on Telos. They've announced that they're going to mint for 25 Telos each, which is, they wanted the price to be as accessible as possible, so good on them for that. They've mentioned also a bunch of collaborations and contests coming up before the launch. If you want inside info on one of them, I know that there will be some kind of contest running on the Fortis channel with Croco Island. So hasn't dropped yet, but go check out Fortis later.
We got the inside knowledge there.
And we do, and that is one thing that we can definitely talk about. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty exciting mint. They've been teasing out when they're going to launch for a while. They've been running some social media campaigns until then. So yeah, the 14th, that's the date. Get ready, get your Telos in hand. Another project, Doug's Donuts, they've been going well. They've sold about 183 NFTs so far. Check back our previous show on Monday to see Evan and I minting one. It was Evan's
fun.
First NFT ever, so that was a good time. I know that the hunt for the golden iced donut is still ongoing. There's a prize for that if you mint that one. And they've also got custom profile picture rewards for people who mint 12 or more. So go check out Doug's Donuts and check it out. Exactly, Gooey knows what's up. So go check it out. They're going to be doing a lot more stuff, it sounds like, from their roadmap, which is pretty built out. So yeah, we'll see for where that one goes. As well, the Apish Punks team, they've announced a new project. It's called Lazy Lizzie. It's something lizard related. They've not said anything about the mint date yet, but they're rolling out details for airdrops. Depending on the number of Apish Punks that you have, you need about 10 minimum to get the airdrop. And they're all finished minting now, so you can pick up more on Tofu NFT. It's all secondary market stuff only. So yeah, go check out their Telegram group for more information. Again, no information on the date, but Yeah, they've been a really solidly building team, so definitely keep an eye on them. And that is what we've got for NFTs today. We've got a comment here from Shifra. We need more NFT well collectors in Telos. It is really exciting to have larger collaborations coming up to inspire collectors to come over. Yeah, most definitely it is. Um, we've got we've got some good amount of creators. We've got a good amount of marketplaces. Yeah, getting those people who are really excited about collecting the NFTs is going to be a big moment for
It's
Telos.
growing. It's growing fast. So I think 3 months from now, we'll be in a very different place. There's always more to do, right? But I think it'll be interesting to see just how busy things can go from here.
Yeah,
Hey, we got Brian in the audience as well. Half of the Telos culture family. So great to have you here, Brian.
definitely.
All right, let's keep on going.
Close us off, Lynn.
TCD unveils details on an EVM supernode, which sounds very intriguing. We got a quote here from a press release. Jesse Schulman, alongside Kirsten Worth, will be providing detailed insights into the development of the Telos EVM 2.0. This hybrid supernode solution will be even easier to operate and integrate than the previous version, offer top-notch history management, and tie in with the best available Ethereum clients. We heard about this before on the Telos 2022 roadmap, AMA, and later today is the AMA, sorry, that is happening at 17 o'clock UTC. So that's going to be lots of fun. Telos EVM 2.0, is this where we drop the when Ethereum 2.0 jokes? It only took Telos 3 months, 4 months, it's 5 now to get from Ethereum 1 to Ethereum 2, but we're still waiting 3 years, I think, for Ethereum 2.
Give or take, but
No
who's counting?
Ethereum shade, to be honest. We love the Ethereum community and we're excited for Ethereum 2, but I had to make that joke.
Amazing. Well, that's about all we got for the news, but we are very excited to bring on our guests from Hypha Earth, Nikolaus.
Yeah,
and
I'm so excited for
Joachim.
this.
Yeah, so let's bring them on here and start talking about Hypha Earth. Nikolaus and Joachim, how are you guys doing today? It's great to have you here.
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas and Liam, for putting us on your show.
Oh, of course. Thanks for taking the time to join us. I know you guys are really busy right now, eh? It's a crazy time for Hypha.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the alpha launch right now, so things are very hectic and very exciting.
That's awesome. Well, why don't we just start with just a quick, for anybody who's not familiar with Hypha, maybe give us a quick overview of what Hypha is and talk about maybe each of your individual roles in the ecosystem.
Yeah, you want to go first, Joachim?
Sure. So, Hypha is an organization we created a few years ago, and the original intention was to launch the Seeds ecosystem, right? The Seeds currency, new type of regenerative currency, a new type of working together in these new spaces, right? So Hypha was created to build the technology for that space, for that ecosystem really that we're starting to put up. And over the years, we noticed the tooling we created made actually a lot of sense for other groups too, outside the seed space and especially in the DAO space, right? So what we did in the last few years, actually I joined in 2019, is to say this DAO thing is super hot. There's so much going on. We got to jump on that bandwagon and not only create the DAO that we had created for Hypha, right, to create the seeds tool sets, but enable that for a much larger audience, right? To go into what we call multi-tenancy mode, and then offer that as a new, I call it third generation DAO, or you mentioned DO at the beginning. DHO actually stands for Decentralized Human Organization. So bringing the human at the center of this new kind of DAO waves that we're establishing. So we're now excited to launch. As you mentioned, we just have launched the Hypha DAO into the alpha mode last couple of days, and we're looking forward to put that forward into beta mode, but I'm sure more questions are coming later, so just
That's awesome. Nikolaus, do you want to tell us a little bit about your role in the ecosystem and history there?
Yeah, I mean, I actually joined for Seeds. I didn't even know what Hypha was, and I got very excited with the Seeds currency, implemented a bunch of smart contracts for Seeds, and only later learned about Hypha, and now I'm helping out with the technical aspects. I'm a programmer, and my background is engineering, so I'm doing the architecture and the backend mostly, and we have a really good front end team as well. But really, I'm very interested in user experience. So I think our DAO is quite different from others in that we really target normal people. Basically, my mom should be able to use it, and not, I have a lot of friends who ask me about crypto because they think I'm in crypto, and they're like, how do you do it? And they have trouble even creating a Bitcoin wallet. That's already very hard for them. So we need to make it like super simple. With one click of a button, you can do something. And now Hypha DAO is, in my mind, it's not so much about, being a better DAO. It's more being a better model for organizations to organize themselves. I really want to get all kinds of organizations on there that want to try out this model that have never been a DAO before. They're just like, hey, this is cool. Like how we can organize ourselves like this. So our big focus right now is to, onboard our alpha users, of course, and get all the feedback, and this is an exciting phase, but then you really ramp up and, get all these organizations in. We have a lot of partner organizations through Seeds, because Seeds was, a regenerative currency, so it's in the regenerative space, and there's a huge amount of organizations who are interested in DAOs in that space, from funds to eco villages to all kinds of different entities that just want to organize themselves. So we have a big list of people who are interested.
Amazing, yeah. And it's really exciting to hear that you guys are more than giving DAOs the tools that they need. You're helping other organizations move into the DAO space, which is really exciting. But could you break it down for me a little bit? What are some of the tools that like a DAO even needs? When I think of DAOs, I think of decentralized groups of people, like different ways of imagining hierarchies. How do you even start with the tools that you need there?
Right. There's so much going on there, and it's also sort of an evolutionary space now, where a lot of change is happening in a very short amount of time. And so when we see the initial DAOs, really more, I call them infrastructure DAOs, right? Gathering large communities, coming together and seeing what are we going to do next year? What kind of decisions can we actually make? And the funding comes in. Well, what do we do with this, right? So the sort of the infrastructure DAOs are here and established now. But I see this moving into sort of the next stage, which I call political DAOs. So they're more focused on how do we actually make decisions? How can we get the governance model working, right? And how do we buy, the US Constitution and things like that, right? So coordinating, it's a lot about coordination in these spaces, right? And that's the great thing about DAOs, right? They reduce the entire cost of coordination. And you can bring in people across the planet by these virtual internet organizations coming together and forming this thing called organization, right? And for me, it's also sort of a next stage, coming from the industrial age, corporations really coming from the industrial age. Now we have something for the information age. This is much more fluid, much more dynamic, and people invite them into these spaces. And if you look at the tooling, around the organizational space, it's always, a lot, anchored around the context, right? If you want to build an organization that's highly purpose and sort of goal-oriented, well, you need some tools to structure your organization, right? So we bring in some of the sociocratic aspects of building circles in the organization and sub-circles, right? So leveling it out, not creating another hierarchical thing, right? A top-down thing. That's really more of a decentralized, autonomous entity, right? That invites people, we want people to participate, create their own DAOs, but have the right tool sets, right? And that includes, stuff that you also typically see in traditional organizations like payroll, how do you actually reward people in these environments? How do you create roles for them, right? How do you establish structure in the organization, right? And the treasury, right? And how does that all work? So these are all aspects of the DAOs that are flowing into this next generation now, I believe.
That's awesome. No, you're totally right. It is all about coordination, and we are really, things are just evolving, right? It's like, I was listening to something the other day just talking about how that corporate structure is just this old school kind of structure, like you say, from the industrial era that we've kind of forced into this information age, and it hasn't really worked, right? Especially now as we introduce Web3 and there's this, such a broader form of coordination that's going on. So, as you start to introduce these different alternative structures and ways of working together, how have you seen initiatives change? Do you have any insight there?
You want to tackle?
What do you mean by what has changed?
Yeah, sorry, I guess I could have worded that a little bit better, but so I think there's a lot of projects in the space right now that we tend to gravitate towards that like corporate sort of hierarchy type of structure. And you guys have played a role, I think, in working with organizations too. I know when I was going through your docs on, I can't remember if it was Hypha or the seed side of things, you have a presentation of all the different types of ways you can form your DAO. So what are sort of the benefits of taking on those alternate structures, and how does that improve maybe the efficiency or the operations of sides of things?
Yeah, I mean, like we wanted to get away from the top-down hierarchical structure, right, and going to a more like a decentralized structure. And so it starts with, having proposals and voting, and then it goes into, treasury, accounting, and things like that. And yeah, so we feel like it's going to create more robust organizations. And we have learned a lot in the last 3 years about what the pitfalls are with DAOs and what the good things are about DAOs. And so we are, incorporating those learnings into our tools. So now we have more structures. Before we had just a flat hierarchy and voting, didn't work very well. And now we have a council that's kind of like the overall strategy, and we have different circles that are responsible for things, and we divide up the treasury and things like that.
That's very cool. Have you guys started the onboarding process because you're in alpha mode now, right? But this just happened. So have you started onboarding projects into it yet and had a chance to sort of see the effects of it, or is it just kind of getting started?
Yeah, so we just started to onboard the first 5 organizations, and we do this really by organization, right? So it's not individuals, it's already groups that are coming together and either have an organization that they created in the past, want to sort of transition now into this new DAO space, right? Or they bring together new folks and create this new project or new organization. And what's fascinating to me is that once we get these other players on board, right, and sort of the explore screen is expanding now. There's not only Hypha, there's 5 other players there, and then in the next wave we have another 5, and the entire alpha consists of about 50 players, 50 organizations, right? And now they're starting to sort of see each other, right? They recognize, oh, we have similar DAOs in that same space. Let's see what they're doing. Since the blockchain, everything's transparent, right? And you can actually reach into our DAO too and see what's going on, what kind of votes are currently displayed, and what are the people doing there. They can learn from each other. So it's really a space that invites people for participation, right? For learning, for recognition, and then seeing what else is going on. And that to me is sort of a leveling up here, going from individual silo mode thinking, right? This is my thing and I'm competing with another group here, towards a competition space, right? Where you actually recognize there's some values, some qualities that everybody brings to this, this new space. And how can we work together in solving these critical issues that we all need to solve now in order to move forward, to survive really on planet Earth.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's so being where you guys are on meeting with these organizations and helping them adapt, and seeing the way that DAOs and DHOs are being used today, what gets you most excited about the ways that people are innovating in the DAO space and using them? What have you guys seen that just gets you the most excited?
You start. I have a long list,
We'll be here another 20 minutes.
Okay. I mean, I'm excited about revamping organizations and actually it like we have Bitcoin that removes us from the banking system. We have Telos. We have all these cryptocurrencies. We have seeds, and we get away from these centralized banking systems. But now with these DAOs, we also get away from governments and all these kind of things that prevent us from really doing what we want to do. And so I feel that's the most exciting part, that we get to just create our DAO on the blockchain. It might not even have a registered business. It's just on chain. It has an on-chain treasury. It does on-chain accounting, and then there's the other aspect where DAOs can actually create sub-DAOs, and they can create sub-DAOs. So it kind of can fractal out into like a whole ecosystem of DAOs that can support each other with token swaps and things like that. They're kind of connected. And so this is, I mean, Joachim knows more about this model because he came up with it for the most part, but that is super exciting for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, it started inside the DAO, right? Inside the Hypha DAO, and how organizations can operate, become more effective, right? And my background is in HR consulting. I've done that for many years, you know, working for a traditional corporation, right? Now seeing how that can translate into these new spaces, right? What does HR actually look like in a decentralized environment? How does you know, payroll work? How does that work in a decentralized environment? How can you structure organizations that are much more organic, right? So circles can come up, they can be voted in, they can, you know, people can join these circles or they disappear, right? It's like a living entity, a living, breathing space that this new kind of DAO and this new type of organization is now, you know, how it formulates itself, right? It's fascinating to see. And then you take that thing and say, okay, now we have multiple players and you have this entire sort of DAO to DAO space, right? So how do actually DAOs now begin to communicate with each other, right? There's value created in this DAO, there's value created over here, there's knowledge, there's information, right? And all these streams are now beginning to connect, right? Each DAO is sort of focusing on what they're good at, right? What they're doing, the service, the products, you know, the value they provide to the network, and they're starting to exchange that, right? And you have these boundaries sort of defined, and okay, I'm a member of this DAO now. I'm in a specific role here, or I'm working on a quest inside this DAO, and that's all possible, right? That opens up a huge sort of this possibility space, right? It's like a Cambrian explosion now. If you have 100 DAOs, that's great. 1,000 DAOs, and they're all connecting with each other, right? It goes like exponential after a while. And that's what I'm looking forward, right? To build that next level into DAO to DAO. And then there's another one actually beyond already, which is sort of the ecosystemic approach. You know, once you're there, that they're starting to connect, then you build entire ecosystems here, right? And say, okay, Seeds is one that's socio-ecological, right? Focuses on the planet, is on nature, is on restructuring, rebuilding, right? And then you go into other ecosystems, right? Socio-political ones, you know, socio-economic ones, where you have co-ops in South America to establish, you know, their ways of setting up a farm and new channels of distributing and supplying their goods. And it goes on and on and on. I mean, that list is just, you know, expanding dramatically, and that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think what's really great about your guys' approach to it too is there's a lot of people who look at the DAO space and they think that we're just building DAOs to coordinate around these decentralized tools that we're building. But it's more than that, right? It is building these tools just for new ways of coordinating, like you say, you know, farming co-ops, or, you know, your local co-op board for your condo or stuff like that, right? There's ways that you could just take that model and now apply it to the real world, because we've shown that it works, and the network effects are huge. So I love that you guys have that approach, and you're really just looking at how we bring it into the world and make it as accessible as possible.
Yes.
That's great. Well, it's really great to have you guys here. I know we're getting to time now. The music's coming on, sadly, and I could talk to you guys for a while because I find this so interesting. Really quickly, this was not planned, but I do want to share screen for a second here and just show this tooling. If we can pull it up here, and I'll show it for 2 seconds. We've got, this is the landing page. So if you go to dao.hypha.earth/Hypha, you can see this is this a demo, or is this the actual Hypha, like what Hypha DAO is using to coordinate as a guest?
That's the actual Hypha DAO.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
in production.
This UI is amazing. So this is your alpha release. You've got so many different, you guys have thought of everything, right? There's the proposal section here. You can view the members. If you go to the dashboard on the home, there's different badges for different roles within things. And there's, you know, a way to go and set everything up to create your, you know, voting preferences. It really is like just super in depth. We don't have time to go through it all. I know there's lots of great videos, I believe, on either the Hypha channels or the regenerative economic channels that you guys have. So I encourage people to check that out. But I just wanted to show it for a second because it looks amazing. And you guys have really done quite a great job here. So this is fantastic. All right, let's pull off the screen again. Yeah, guys, where can people go to learn more about you?
You can go to our main website, hypha.earth.
Beautiful.
The link that you just got.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
last thing you guys have, so you guys are onboarding projects right now. So if people want to get interested in maybe using this tooling, they can head to hypha.earth and they can check out the alpha. You guys are also doing a raise for your Hypha token right now as well. So there is an UI and a portal on the hypha.earth website as well for anyone who wants to consider investing, correct?
That's right.
Beautiful. Not financial advice. Do your own research, of course, but check that out. Awesome. Well, is there anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap?
Anybody who's interested in launching your own organization using the new DAO tooling, you can go to the, again, hypha.earth page. At the bottom is the sign up for the beta program. We're probably starting in June, July to go a much more public route, and what we've learned in the alpha program, bring that into this new beta program. So sign up, go there.
Fantastic. All right,
So
guys.
guys, if you're watching, go to the Hypha.earth website and check it out at the bottom of the page to sign up for their beta. It's very, very exciting stuff. Joachim, Nikolaus, thank you guys so much for coming with us, sharing what you guys have learned about DAOs over the years and what you guys are, the really exciting tools that you guys are building. It was a pleasure to hear from you guys.
Yeah, it was so
Thanks
much
for
fun.
having us.
Thank you,
so
Thomas.
much. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and consider voting for us as a block producer on the mainnet. We'll see you guys all again on Monday. Take care.
Yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Bye.